We've got an exclusive for you that you just have to see. It's not in the news yet. Ladies and gentlemen, it's looking like an unsure bet that 2025 at the domestic box office will surprise and overcome 2024. Now, why is that a huge story? Because 2024 was awful, terrible, a drop of 8% from 2023. And now we're starting to see Hollywood might miss the mark this year and come short of the nightmare year from before. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is a pleasure to have you. An attitude of gratitude every time you decide to spend time with us. Thank you for welcoming us into your day. A PhD level of understanding is on the way right now into what's going on inside the box office. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, it's looking like 2025 is going to come up short. It's unbelievable. Of a year that was called out as being, ruh-roh, we're going to change this. We promise it. We'll fix it. Survive to 25. Well, that's not going to happen. Hollywood didn't hold the line. Click the like button. We'll explain right now. There's a terror, folks, and it is the domestic box office. Out of that Park Place, will the government shutdown sink Hollywood movies and cinemas in 2025? It says, could the U.S. government shutdown ultimately harm Hollywood? The government shutdown threatens to take away food stamps, which is discretionary income, and could gravely damage family movie money as a result. With Avatar, Fire and Ash coming in late and Stranger Things mostly playing on New Year's in 2026, can the domestic box office even match the horrible totals for last year? As of Thursday, October 30th, 2025, the domestic year-to-date gross stands at $6.86 billion. On the same year-to-date basis last year, 2024, was at $6.67 billion. Now, that means that 2025 currently is tracking about 3% ahead, but remember what it's about to go up against. Moana 2, which was fantabulous. With $6.86 billion already banked, 2025 needs roughly $1.71 billion over November to December to match 2024's $8.57 billion. By comparison, the final 2 months of 2024 delivered a very robust, about $1.9 billion. That came off of Wicked, Moana 2, Mufasa, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3. What do we got in 2025 that might help it surpass? Wicked for Good, Zootopia 2, The Running Man, and Predator. Now, why do we not have here in this article Avatar, Fire and Ash listed out? Because largely it's going to be playing into 2026. So even if it does huge numbers, a large percentage of that is not going to land in 2025. So it'll be some, it's going to be, good, but can it break it? Well, folks, right now we're looking at this and we think that this could be pretty tough. I want you all to go read the article. It's on thatparkplace.com. But the bottom line is, through October 2025, narrowly, the box office this year is ahead of 2024, which was called devastating and terrible. Remember, Survive to 25? Mm-hmm. Whether it underperforms or edges past 2024 will be decided, basically, by Wicked for Good and Zootopia 2. There's what we've got, folks, for you. And Christian, I want to go to you on this. We were told that last year was just an awful box office. Christian, the fly in the ointment here is the government shutdown. People aren't thinking about this, but discretionary spending, if people aren't getting that money on the lower end of the economic income scale, it could be the box office that suffers. They could say, no, kids, we're not going to Zootopia 2 because we're spending that on food this month. What are your thoughts on that and how it might impact?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting thought. And I thought the shutdown would be settled by now. I mean, the fact that it's gone on so long suggests it could go on much longer. Those two films are going to be our absolute locks, Zootopia 2 and Wicked for Good. Wicked for Good, maybe the worst title ever. But if you're going to if you're pinning your hopes on Predator Badlands, it's funny. When the trailer first came out, I somehow missed it, but I caught up with it yesterday. Oh my gosh, it looks terrible. I mean, it looks just bizarre and weird and girl bossy. So that's not going to save the day. And I don't think the Predator brand has anything going on right now. But yeah, it's been a very weird year. We've had unexpected highs like Weapons and Sinners, and then a lot of just absolute bombs. So Hollywood should be nervous. I mean, at the end of the day, Hollywood is so afraid of AI. But I think AI might be the only thing that saves Hollywood because it's going to reduce the cost once they kind of once they access it, use it, leverage it. Because just the cost structure is so out of control. You know, I was reading the numbers on a movie called After the Hunt, which is basically a sober drama. And it was millions. I mean, I forget the exact number. It might've been 80 million or something crazy. That movie should be made for $6 million. It's crazy, the numbers being thrown around. So yeah, it's Hollywood's in trouble. And I think I don't want to get too political, but I really thought that after the 2024 election, that Hollywood celebrities would realize that they just don't have the cachet they used to. And they're doubling and tripling and quadrupling down a lot of their messaging, and a lot of it's kind of coarse. And I think that's not going to help either. I mean, I think they're just hurting their own brand.
Christian, what's the narrative going out of this year if the box office fails to match 2024? Will they blame it on the food stamps if we go that far? Or do they blame it on, I don't know what the PR is going to be on this.
Yeah, I mean, we're so far from the pandemic now. We're far from the dual strikes, which have been settled. We've had a much more robust set of sequels and prequels. I don't know. I mean, listen, Hollywood, you'll check a Deadline or Variety. They'll have the pathetic, wince-inducing explanation for why this is happening. But it's still a perfect storm. It's streaming. It's customer indifference. It's the lack of great movies. And we're partly to blame because a lot of interesting original films like Roofman just not drawing a crowd. And that just tells Hollywood, stop with those kind of movies. Give us Megan 2.0 and all these things.
Right. The 2024 was down, I believe, about 8% from 2023. I'm pulling it off the top of my head, so I might be off by a percentage or something. In 2023, everybody was saying, "Hey, we're on the way. We're gonna get back up to those levels."
Yeah,
that has not happened. So if we're down to 8% last year versus 2023, and then we missed this one by 1 or 2%, which is a possibility. This is absolutely a sinking proposition for Hollywood culture. We've got to go up against, for the end of the year, these movies have got to beat or at least stay pace with stuff like Moana 2. I didn't care for Moana 2, but audiences and money did. So I don't know. Maybe Zootopia can match it. I just don't know. What do you think, Culture? You're muted, Culture, but it was all genius. Everything you said, top to bottom, brilliant.
I think that every Monday on my channel, I drop a video related to the current box office or what just happened. I think a lot of us in this sphere do. And my idea has always been that we are never going to get back to 2018, 2019. That's a pipe dream now. You have disenfranchised your audiences because you've given them nothing but slop for so very long. People don't trust you. They really don't trust Disney, which was just up there on the screen. In fact, we expect the very lowest quality when it comes to Disney, including storytelling. Every once in a while, they'll allow for a creative to be involved, like I would suggest happened with Lilo and Stitch. But those films are going to be few and far between because everybody in Disney has to be an identitarian and like worship at the ground of DEI and everything else. And this is just that one studio, but there's levels of infection here in all the studios. And until they actually bring in actual creatives that aren't tainted by that can actually do stories and do proper storytelling and be creative filmmakers, because one of the reasons, and this is where I agree 1,000% with Christian, these films cost too much because nobody's creatively making them. They don't have fresh ideas for how to tell these stories, let alone tell a proper story. So, let's say the Mechanical Shark breaks down, to use a wonderful example, and you have to redesign your movie to make it work so you can get it released and, not have people come and strangle you for not getting their money back to them.
Clarification, Culture. Are you now calling
Jaws.
Rachel Zegler a mechanical shark?
No, but wouldn't that have been a better way to tell the Snow White story? Anyway, she's more like a jet. I promise you, she's not a shark.
But a mechanical shark, isn't it?
Probably. But it's just, that's the conversation we should be having. Why is this costing so much? And in the age of AI, it shouldn't. If you dive into your fight scenes and things like that, and not quilting it all together like Feige does over
I'm pretty
Disney.
sure that Godzilla $-1 was made for like a
$13 million.
A green number 5 Uno card. It's so ridiculous. No, shoestrings don't even describe So and that looked better than almost anything we've seen since.
And I just love that movie. It was a great story. Even though you were reading subtitles, it was a great story. And then they did something also creative, and they went and produced a black and white version. Yeah, Godzilla -1 minus color. I thought that's a genius idea, so I went and paid money again. So I love film. I miss film. I would like it to come back, and right now Hollywood doesn't want it to, and it's all because of terrible decision making, a terrible governance of the state and of the unions that they all bought into the strike thing, which is going to happen again next year. I think we are in the perfect storm for it to just fail. I think we're that close.
Let's also talk about Vash briefly. The issue with streaming, because the box office is not the only place that these big entertainment companies could be hurt. Streaming would probably be one of the first things that gets dropped if people are off of food stamps. You're talking about 40 million individuals or households. Not sure exactly on the stats, but you're talking about a lot of households that if the food stamps go away, they got to pay for other stuff versus streaming services. So what do you think about Hollywood and how they're facing this, and how long does this go on?
Oof, man, I don't know how long this shutdown goes on, and who knows what actually happens with SNAP benefits in general, and how it might impact the American consumer. I mean, we've seen massive layoffs from the economy and so forth. I think that's going to be very detrimental. Obviously, it's going to be less discretionary spending for sure. I think you're right, Pro. I think the assessment that streaming might take a hit. Box office, I think, is going to take a tremendous hit, right? Because, for streaming, at least I get an assortment of different options available for, $7 a month, $8 a month, $12 a month, so forth. Versus I got to pay $12 per person at the very minimum to go into these theaters right now. And I think that's going to be cut off pretty heavily. So I think Hollywood will be impacted. And here's the thing. I'm going to disagree with Toto just a little bit on the Zootopia front, because Zootopia, I know. Wait. No,
what are you doing, Vash? It wasn't enough to disagree and to kick him off the stage. What are you doing?
My hands were up here. No, no,
I haven't heard that since the hot tub of 2008.
That's true, very true. Look, Zootopia, the original. 6% of its box office came international. Are they going to be able to offset? I think the losses from international that they've received. At least recently. We have not seen much from the international market post, I would say 2023, 2024, but certainly 2025. It just hasn't shown up for these films. So how does that make Fire and Ash look? How does that make something like Zootopia look when it comes to Zootopia 2? I'm not quite sure on that. I think people will still go. I just don't know to what degree, especially with economic uncertainty being out there. On the flip side, I know Wicked. I guess Comcast is really excited about that picture. They have said that Jurassic World Rebirth. They talked about that in the earnings call actually today, which is very, very interesting. Wicked made, I think, $100 million less than that. Will people show up for number 2? I actually am hoping they do, but to what degree, I'm not really sure. I don't really know what this box office in the fall looks like. I think it was stronger early in the year. Now it's all out the window.
Well, I'll have to say, I'm a little bit surprised that Box Office Pro is saying that on the 5-day Thanksgiving, Zootopia 2 might not hit. It's nowhere projected. It's not even close to 200 million. And if it's going to do the kind of numbers going into December, versus Avatar, if it's going to do the kind of numbers it's got to do to compete with Moana, I'm just not sure that a 5-day 140 on the low end is enough to get there. Culture, you're muted again, but again, your dulcet tones. We can only imagine how good they must be.
I can say again, I think that's still being very kind. Sean doesn't miss very often, and it's sometimes he does. On this one, I think he might be missing again, and I hate to say that because I admire him greatly, but when you look at that movie, again, word of mouth is going to drive that forward. It's going to be one of those that, because I'm going to say it one more time. Nobody trusts Disney. I don't trust Disney. I'm sorry. No. And in the Cameron movie, again, don't bet against James Cameron. That's always been the line, right? And I'm going to bet against him on this one. Of course, I thought that, flashy lights and blue people weren't going to sell the second time. But this time, I'm almost certain that it's not going to get anywhere near what it needs to make back for him to make more movies. Because when you look at the fact that China has decided to not participate in films that come out of the US, I think your instinct was correct, Vash. I do believe that.
Way of Water, I mean, that re-release Toto, you saw that when they re-released that picture, really underperformed. I think it has a lot of people like, ooh, what is the strength of this franchise going forward?
There you go.
Christian, were there any major tech improvements that Cameron brought to us with this third film? Have you seen anything?
I haven't. I mean, I feel like every film he does, it is a leap forward. It just, I don't know how he does it, but he does. So I know it's like, you don't bet against him, but gosh, this franchise is so bizarre because it has no emotional heft. There's no loyalty to it that I can see. There's no sort of marketing tie-ins. There's just nothing. It just exists like a roller coaster ride, but they do perform extraordinarily well. Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody can remember a character's name, but
I can't remember the actors. I mean, it's stunning to me how it just defies all the odds. It's like it defies the art. It's like a Fast and Furious movie that defies the art of logic and physics. It just does. It just keeps on going. But what I was also curious about the really soft turnout for the Bruce Springsteen biopic.
Oh,
listen,
man.
It's Nebraska. It's, not his Born in the USA shtick, but by gosh, it didn't even make 9 million its opening weekend. I mean, and I think that's partly because his brand has been soiled. I mean, I think it's a great story about, the artists who have just killed their legacies. And I would throw Springsteen in there, Howard Stern, Neil Young, Jon Stewart to a degree too. I think that's really, I mean, when artists just refuse to leave the stage and they basically just kind of destroy whatever they've built, it's such a, for a Howard Stern, I'm going on a tangent here, but to build this legacy, to kind of recreate radio and to be such a pioneer, and then just basically defy everything he's done, it's staggering. And I think you're really seeing that in real time with the Bruce Springsteen movie. I mean, listen, it wasn't going to make Zootopia style numbers, but
you thought 100 mil, maybe? I mean, we look at these music biopics and you thought maybe, but no.
Yeah.
The boss lost at the box office. Big time. And it's another Disney movie.
Yeah. And, those are hit or miss. The Whitney Houston movie was a bomb. The Amy Winehouse movie was a bomb. But this is Springsteen. I mean, I'm not even a fan. And he's an icon. I mean, he's huge. He's a rock god. And for this to come out, it's unbelievable.
Jonas, what we needed.
It's going to turn around, though, with Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, with Rachel Zegler. Oh, that's better than what I had. Jonas, I'll do it anyway since I've already started. Jonas, you know what we needed right now?
Oh, what's that?
We needed Adam Driver. We needed a Finding Ben Solo movie. That would have moved the needle.
Oh, my goodness.
Only if Dory's there.
Really, when it comes down, the whole thing there, it just reeks of AstroTurf. Oh, Ryan Johnson coming out of the woodwork. Oh, Adam Driver coming out of the woodwork. It just all smells so fake. So that's very fake. Like the dying breaths of someone about trying to, it's like when someone growing up that was a real meanie, but when they're around your children, their grandchildren, that's not the person I grew up with. That's a dying person trying to get into heaven.
Save us, Ben Solo. You're our only hope. That's the Hollywood message.
Yep.
Woof. Put this baby to bed. This video is over. Turn off the lights, but not quite yet, folks, because we do ask one final thing before we say goodbye, and that is, would you consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it and stick it to those algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. Also greatly appreciated, anytime you would like to share this out on your favorite social media platforms, well, we would love that. And we'd also love to hear your thoughts. Folks, drop a comment down below and use that beautiful mind of yours. If you would not mind, we'd love to know what you're thinking. Also, if you would like to become a member of the channel, it's as simple as clicking the join button. It is the price of a soda per month, and you'll gain access to all kinds of new, cool, exclusive information. Folks, until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water!
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.